Hi everyone, Dennis Foley from Acoustic Fields. Today we're going to talk about cleaning your room. Kind of a play on words here, but I want you to start thinking about room in two ways. Dirt in the room is pressure and reflections. I'm really trying to get people to simplify this complicated science of acoustics and get people to understand, because they just don't understand pressure, they don't understand reflections, they don't understand direct energy. So I'm trying to come up with paradigms that will illustrate this in, kind of an off-ramp way, so to speak. So the dirt in the room has to be constantly cleaned. Pressure and reflections have to be constantly managed. There's no way around it, because that's dirt, and you can think about it as dirt in your room, and it has to be cleaned. It's like bringing mud into the house. My friends that have kids, they're always complaining, the kids like to play in the mud and then they track it into the house. Okay, same thing with pressure and reflections. And people don't understand, for years and years and years, I can't believe all the years that I've heard this about the low end in a room. Oh, it's low end. You just have to accept it. That's the way it sounds. It sounds like mud and soup. No, it doesn't. When people say it sounds like mud and soup, or that's the way it always is, they don't have the technology to treat it. That's the bottom line here. Well, we do. And I've made it a passion and a vengeance to go after pressure. So of all the dirts between pressure and reflections, pressure is the most important. People don't understand that either. They focus on voice mid-range. They focus on reflections and reverb times. That understanding is getting more prevalent. However, you've got to get the fundamentals right. You got to start with the source or the cause of the first, second, and third order harmonic, and that's the fundamental frequency. And those are lower frequencies, below 100. So you got to get those right first. If you get those right, the first, second, and third order harmonics will not be as much of a reflection issue to deal with. What do we all seek? Okay? We want to make sure that the pressure and the fundamental management reduces the harmonic distortion in the mid-range. And that's what there is. When you hear, a bass, it's too much, it's boomy, bass boom. Well, that boom is going to have an impact on your mid-range voice and music. They're connected. It's one big family. You could say the fundamentals are the parents and the harmonics, first, second, and third order, are children. So you have to do that. The mid-range harmonic orders require fundamental balance. You can't have a 13 dB peak at 40 hertz. You can't have a minus 8 dB slide at 70. Two peaks, 30 and 40, and then a slide. You can't, because it's going to impact everything. It's going to have definition, separation, soundstage impact. You don't want any of that. So it's a complicated system. It's a complicated process, this room acoustics thing. But you got to get back to the fundamentals. I guess it would be a great way to say it. Get back to the fundamentals. Treat the low end of the room. It's the most expensive. It takes up the most surface area, but it produces the most benefit, especially with mid-ranges over the first, second, and third order. Listen to some recordings that are done outside. Small acoustic guitar, we've done a few videos on those. Watch on YouTube some acoustic guitar outside. Planning for Change is a good series. It's a series of musicians all over the world that play popular songs written here in the United States. Playing for Change, I believe it's called, not planning. But look that up. And those are all done outside. And you can hear the harmonics. Why? Because you don't have any pressure. The room produces pressure. The room produces its own dirt, if you will. Pressure and reflections. So you got to constantly clean it. You got to use the right type of treatment, the right amount, and the right position. And every wall's different. This is why people fail. And this is a big result, or this is a big issue with companies that promote, well, put stuff here, put stuff here. It's the same stuff, and they don't know what the frequency and amplitude of issue on that surface is, but they tell you to put it there. So if you're working with other companies and they prescribe something on a wall, ask them why that is on that wall. They can't tell you that. See, they don't know. They just subscribe the same treatment to all surfaces of the room. And that's why people fail. A lot of the problem out there is misinformation. I mean, hyperbole and exaggeration, of course, but just really out and out falsehoods and lies in a lot of cases. So clean your room. Focus on those fundamentals. Get that pressure managed. It's also the most expensive one of the three or two to manage. So get that out of the way. How do you do that? Well, you select the right room size to match usage. When we say that, we really mean select the right room size to match the amount of energy you're going to put in the room, because it's a finite container. It only can produce so much energy without having a negative impact on reverberation, which has a negative impact on speech intelligibility, which has a negative impact, if you will, on music intelligibility. So there's all kinds of series of events that happen if you don't get the fundamentals in your room cleaned up first. So let's clean up that fundamental dirt. All right. I hope this helps. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. We also have a newsletter that you can subscribe to, so please do that, because we offer special price discounts to only those on our newsletter. And then don't forget about our forum. We have started a forum on our own website where people ask questions, and I usually get a chance every couple of days to look at it. There's an interchange between people on the forum, and we'll give you real answers on a regular basis, so that'll help you. Thank you.